shortened as well, so it's kind of this is
So
the first one to
you
test.
two are cuddling up to each other.
We're always cuddling up to each other. We had a nerve-wracking thing, Tarquin. We were on stage in front of 400 people last week, and we've never done it before.
It's our first live show.
First live show.
Good.
And it was, you were like this beforehand,
Yeah.
and then going on. Have you done anything like that yourself?
Not recently, no. How bad was he?
We were all right, weren't we? So he's very good.
Is he?
He's great in front of like
nerve-wracking.
audiences and stuff
It
like
is
that.
nerve-wracking. How do artists do it? I said to Brian Johnson, because he was to earn money.
Mm-hmm.
He was as a young lad. He joined the Paras and got paid £8 a jump, and he used that money to buy his first amplifier. That got him going singing. And I said, which was worse, jumping out of an aeroplane for £8 or walking on stage to 80,000 people for an undisclosed sum of money, which I'm not at liberty to reveal.
Yes.
And he said, jumping out of the plane.
Really?
Because I think if I had to, which would you rather?
Well, I don't know, for £8, it's...
All right.
Watch,
For
for me,
equal-
honestly, jump out of a plane.
Equal amount of money, which would you prefer?
Jump out of a
I
plane.
think jumping out of a plane,
I think it, I lean that way. And then on the other hand,
because I like the excitement, the activity, but I've never experienced the other thing.
Yeah.
But I can imagine how good that buzz is, because you're starting something and you're giving the audience something that you've written and it's from the heart. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit more special, and I think I would lean into that. When
how
I think
was it
about I
after
would lean into
about
that.
5 minutes?
It was all right when you kind of break that sort of first thing that you're going to say.
Yeah.
And then you're not petrified. But I came off and I just didn't know what I'd said when I'd been on there as well. But it's leaning into the silly,
Right.
you know.
How was he?
Great.
Was he?
Yeah.
You're
He
just
was.
saying that
It
because
was
you're stuck on the sofa.
It's a
with
really
him.
hard thing to do. I mean, we kept on saying, didn't we? We just be ourselves. We just need to be ourselves.
Yeah.
And talk the way we do on the podcast.
Yeah.
But I think, it's interesting you mentioned Brian Johnson. Did it ever get easier for them, though? I mean, because I don't think it does.
Yes.
For me, I don't find that it does.
I think it does.
Yeah.
I mean, when I watch him getting ready, you just realise he's done this for 40 years.
Yeah.
He sort of knows the things that you go through. It doesn't stop him, getting ready. He has to. They all have a system to sort of get them to that place where they can walk out on that stage and do it.
Well, they're like alter egos.
Yeah.
Almost.
Whereas you two are very casual. I noticed the way that you threw yourselves into the cuddly little sofa that you're sitting on.
That's it, yeah. I mean, singing with AC/DC, you're sitting on the couch talking to you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different,
you know what?
different kettle of fish that time.
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated with it because, it's like a working class lad.
Yeah.
He's all of a sudden bush and he's at centre stage.
It's
It must
not
take
all
some
of a sudden, but
getting used to. But it's one of those 10-year overnight
Yeah.
success kind of thing.
yeah, 40 years. No, I mean, listen, he never gave up, and that's the point of the film that we've just made.
Are you in the middle of? Are you finished that?
We're in post, and we were screening it for his family.
Okay, what film is this?
This is based on Brian's book, The Lives of Brian.
Okay.
And
That's a good title.
it was a nod to Monty Python, obviously. And I'm very, very glad that we did that, because that led me to Bill and Ben, the producers, directors, who we're working with. And Bill is the son of Terry Jones from Monty Python.
Yeah.
All right.
They do comedy, and that's led us to Terry Gilliam, who's given us some bits for the film. To be for me, Monty Python are the sort of Beatles of comedy.
Yeah.
Yes.
They started it all.
Yeah.
And to have any sort of a connection or to be on their family tree in any shape or form, it's like, okay, I'm good now, I can go.
Well, we were raised...
I don't mean you can kill me. I mean, I can.
I mean, we were raised on Monty Python, Life of Brian, Meaning of Life, Holy Grail, everything. And it was just a unique kind of... For me, it was the films that got me into it. Then I went back to watch the TV shows because I'm a little bit younger for those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's just that all-out craziness and them just putting everything they want to put into something. And that's a massive risk that somebody would take a chance on that.
Yeah. And the politics, they were quite far out, quite radical for the BBC. And it's, I run Brian's TV company. We've made a load of television over the years. We did 3 car series for Discovery.
Yeah, I saw that.
We've done 3 series for Sky where he talks to other rock stars. And I said, I was drunk probably, and I was like, George Harrison put the money into The Lives of Brian.
He did.
And The Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Without George's money, handmade films, though we wouldn't have those brilliant comedies. And I said, we could do the same, Brian, with your money. We could put money into really great things. He said, that's a good idea. We could be hand job films. I said, I don't think you're taking this
Put it on the
seriously.
short list.
You're not taking me seriously, are you, Brian?
Anyone else?
Yeah. Any other brilliant ideas?
Oh man, who was it? Somebody was. It was one of the Python boys who was on a podcast, talking about that very story and how that unfolded. Remind me, please.
Michael Palin.
No, it wasn't Michael Palin.
It was Terry Gilliam. It can't be Graham Chapman because he's dead, or Terry Jones. He's dead. So we've run out of Pythons, I think.
Eric Idle.
Oh, it was Eric.
It was Eric. Eric
A
was
recent podcast.
It was an recent podcast, and he was talking about that story about George Harrison funding that because they were in pre-production, and then all the money got pulled.
The money got.
Where was the connect though? So where did George's connect come from?
Just because they were just pals, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he backed it, and he actually remortgaged his house or something like that to put all the money into Life of Brian. I'm not joking. It's such a
I think
big
it was
move,
the
isn't
mansion in Henley.
That's it. That was a story there. But honestly, a phenomenal story.
Phenomenal. What a great guy. I mean, should we do our favourite Beatles, George? Because of that.
Are you going to rank them or just give us?
No, favourite because of that, not talent, because they're all so brilliantly talented. But because of that, putting money into Monty Python, genius.
I think it's when you know somebody and somebody who's done that, it changes your perception on that person as well. Anybody else that you've changed your perception on from meeting them to what they have done.
Well, kind of too.
behind closed doors as well. So is there anyone you thought? I'm not sure, but you got more respect for them after they've done something.
I don't know. It's a tricky question. I have to think about that.
And you've worked with a lot of people.
Yeah, I have worked with a lot of people over the years, and it's that is a tricky one. You get to know them, and they all bring something to the party. Up here with Jimmy, and I've worked with him off and on. I realised for 35 years, and Jimmy Nail, and that is an awful long time, and that's great. It's such a gift because you watch people change and go through the changes, and
Jimmy's had a fascinating career, hasn't he?
He really has. I mean, and to come to show business, he was just at the funeral of the director that first cast him in Our Wiedersehen, whose name, of course, has gone out of my mind. Right. I'll remember it in a little while. Jimmy feels such a debt to that guy. And I was thinking about that actually, and how in show business, when somebody casts you in something, it can forever change your world. I mean, we've seen that so frequently. Somebody gets cast in something, they become the star, and their life is so changed. And I was thinking, does that happen in other businesses? It does happen. You get, I've been appointed the MD for tractor sales in East Scotland. Yes, your life does change, but not quite as dramatically, not quite as 100%. So, yeah.
It's fascinating that though, isn't it? Because your life can be, you're waiting tables one day, and then all of a sudden you're on everybody's TV around the world, and that's
builder playing a builder. What a incredible change, and then to go on and be a singer and or everything else that Jimmy's done is extraordinary.
It was one of those surprises that I think it was the last series when he went on stage and he started to sing as Oz, being a singer. Everyone was like, "Whoa, hold on!" But writing that in to know that
you talking about the one,
when he kind of first, because he was, I think they were in America.
I just can't be myself when I'm with you. I remember that. Yeah, I still remember it. But when he gets up.
Yeah. Was that written in?
It was the launch of his music career.
Was that?
I mean, I remember that wasn't too long after that his music career started to pick up, and that was like almost an intervention.
But was that purposely done? Do you know or not?
I don't know. I mean, maybe
because you
so.
think so? Like they're kind of looking after him by writing that in.
Yeah, they knew. When he was younger, he was a singer in a horrible punk band. He said that, not me. How did you two start working together?
It's a long story.
Is it?
We met in COVID. Whole thing shut down. Chris started Food and Drink Northeast.
Which is a separate company to this. There's CIC, which is connected to this as well.
And Local Heroes came from the markets that we did in lockdown. So it was delivering food boxes to people on the doorstep. And that's where it came from, the Local Heroes. And then we changed it into what this is now. Because everything we wrote...
Well, we reshaped it.
5 years ago was pretty much what we wanted to do with the podcast, merchandise, films, events, stuff like that. So it was me. I made some films of people in lockdown. It was...
Dairyman.
It was the dairyman. I forget now. Paul. It was Paul. It was a dairyman. He was delivering veg instead of delivering milk because all of the places were closed, like Costa and stuff like that. So he started to change what he did to kind of earn a living. And then... Chris got in touch with me.
You made that film. I saw that film. I was like,
you're aligned together.
This is the tone of voice that I want to see us speak with.
Yeah.
Then we made
14 films. It was called Coping in a Crisis. So it kind of became a campaign because I was shooting stills at the time, mainly commercial. And then I started to do short films. So I made 60-second films with in a still image. So that was the poster for the campaign. And then we did 14 films, and then we did a tourism thing.
Tourism campaign.
And then we
stuff about the fish key.
Commissioned our own music from local artists, and then I've made Don Don Strong and Lily, and then we've had another one, Hands on the Wheel, about people who are able-bodied and now disabled. That premiered in October. We've got plans to show it in Tyneside Cinema soon as well.
We just did the live show that we did last week was on the back of a short documentary that we'd made about the Coleman's family.
Yeah, the seafood
family over in South Shields.
And their connection with Bargo in Italy to South Shields and how that kind of, their heritage kind of came.
It was a migration story and how that link in northern Tuscany had accidentally and without anybody noticing shaped South Shields.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have happened without COVID? Was COVID was that the silver lining of COVID?
I think
things like
completely, because it gave us the allowance.
Yep.
It gave us the freedom of
time
and the freedom of creativity. Because it was an open goal. We could do what we wanted, and because people wanted the platform, they wanted the spotlight.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard to open doors to film or to go and see people.
It was just figuring out how you do it. And I was teaching the kids over the kitchen table during the week, and then my wife kind of handed off the baton, and then I made the films on the weekend. So it's just figuring it out. I needed still to put me into this because all the work had disappeared. All my income had disappeared. I was getting absolutely nothing because I was a limited company. So it's kind of like you were in that lovely middle place where you got an out.
Yeah.
So it's just trying to figure it out, but it was just such an enjoyment of kind of working in a collective, but with Chris and with the rest of the guys at Food and Drink Northeast. And because you're always on your own as a freelancer, you get hired to do a job and then you go home, that's it, done, you know. And you're a bit of a nomad, aren't you?
But we had a thing, on a Friday, we used to meet every Friday. And
not
it
in
was
a pub.
Just a world of rabbit holes. Definitely not in a pub.
Not in a pub.
It was always after we'd done the
boxes.
And then we'd sit down and just go on the longest of rants about things that we could do, stories we could tell.
Yeah.
And then we didn't drift as people, but Obviously, you went back to commercial work.
Yeah.
I went back to...
Life got back to normal. It was more, business-facing stuff, and there was no need for the media stuff. So, and then last October, you kind of went, right, let's give this a go. So we pulled Local Heroes, made it its own company, and then a year later, we've pretty much done 5 years worth of work in 1 year. Nearly took us down.
We've got school projects, we've got filming projects.
Lots of things going on, so... We've made films, documentaries, we've been to Barga, Italy. We've got so many connections and all these people on the podcast. That's created our network as well. It's just sort of...
It's good, isn't it?
It's working.
It's good.
We feel it's and now we're just doing this. So
the cost of this lovely studio that we're in, the cost of places, I can't help thinking... I look at the success of restaurants in... I live in the south, I live in Hove. And I lived in a small town called Lewis, and people say, why aren't there any good restaurants? And there was a direct connection with the cost of property and new restaurants. If you're an exciting young chef, you can't afford the rent in the expensive towns like Hove and Lewis. You have to go... So was Sunderland like that for you? Was it cheap enough so that you could do what you wanted to do there?
It was a happy coincidence, Sunderland. So
okay. And I'm sorry I made some cracks about it.
It's an interesting story because how it actually happened. We've alluded to it in bits on the podcast. We've never really talked about it properly.
No, not really.
We had a link with Si King. I'd done some work with him in the past, the food and drink side of stuff, and we knew he was going to be opening Proper, which is his pie shop. So we'd give Si a little bit of help with that, and that was happening at the same time that I was talking to Dan, saying, look, we need to do something. And how it actually started was we got offered a shipping container. So we went and visited the shipping container.
As you do.
And me and Dan just go to Blue Sky.
Hold on a minute. What do you mean you got offered a shipping... Hello, I've got a shipping container I don't need.
I'll be honest, we worked with Sunderland Bid, the Business Improvement District team. They had a shipping container that could have been kitted out.
I see.
And it was in storage in Newcastle. And I said, Dan, that could maybe work.
Yeah.
And straight away we were like, we could take it on tour. Could do all kinds of stuff with this.
We figure it out. You go, we've got this in the hand, and we go, all right, we can make it work. Yeah. Because that's what you do. You just make things work. So, yeah.
So what happened was we had the shipping container, but we had no way to put it. So we talked to Si, and Si was like, well, there's this fantastic development happening over in Sunderland called Sheepfolds, which is a regeneration project of an old stables.
Yeah.
So you should go over and speak to Rick, the guy who's designed it in his company.
No, I think Si said, "Oh yeah, no problem. You can put the shipping container
Rick
there.
will let you put the shipping container."
And then we talked to Rick, and he's like, "I know what you're talking about."
That was it. Can't do that. Yeah. But then, as we were leaving that day, he said, "But hold on a minute. I do have a green room.
Yeah,
because there's a stage there.
Yeah,
that we don't use, and it was perfect. It was breeze block, nothing in there.
Yeah."
We went in, he said, you can take this.
We built this. It was two builders eating sandwiches on a table in it, so that was it.
What I'm sort of alluding to is that there's a sort of cycle, and that the expensive places that seem really nice are boring, and the places that need regeneration are exciting. And that it's a real result of the cheapness of the property.
Yeah.
And it lets young and exciting and new ideas come up. Well done.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's kind of, plus we had a market there. The deal was we can have the studio for the market. We've done that. We'll review it in a year, and then that deal kind of came up, and we thought, look, we need to grow anyway. We had Charlie Holtz, who obviously owns this place, on the podcast, and we asked him, look, we're looking for new space and we're looking to grow, and he said, well, he's got this, so in 2 weeks.
Brilliant.
Now 2 weeks, now we've got a studio, and this was nothing, now it is. So
how's the cafe?
Good.
It closes at 4.
I know it does. It does.
Got some great cakes. I've actually filmed for them years ago as well. Cake stories. We did some stuff outdoors on location.
I nearly dived in there. If I hadn't been late, I'd have been in there.
I did nearly grab a couple of cakes when I went in there, like to bring over.
Should have been purposely. They're very nice. They're very, very good. The kids have already had some. I've already been over. They were like, "We want some cakes." I'm like, all right, okay.
Can I ask though? This is the naff question.
Yeah, go.
Obviously, I've done my sloppy Google research
good.
and look. I was like, hold on a minute.
I think I know what you're going to
You
say.
know what I'm going to say.
I'm gonna say,
So I looked at that roll call of things that you've been associated with.
Yeah.
Right, and the iconic things for
I
us.
never touched the girl.
But they're completely iconic things for us, aren't they? Movies that you've been involved in. And it sort of slapped me across the chops a bit because I was like, I had no idea that's
what you really thought was, why is he working with Jimmy Nail? I hope Jimmy hears this.
I've got one word. How? How did it all happen?
How did it happen?
How? Yeah. Good
That's
question. I don't
way
know.
of asking the question.
Thanks
for that.
Yeah.
Much better.
No, you're leading up, and I know exactly. But yes.
The real answer is that I don't know about you, but when I was young, I started at the bottom, as you do, of every business, and I thought I need to be in show business. I started. My first job was as a stagehand, a dresser at a theatre in London. I was a dresser for Alistair Sims, a great English actor, and then I was a stagehand, and I thought I like showbiz. I like showbiz because if you work in the theatre, your adrenaline spike for the day is at about 8 o'clock. We were talking about that push to get on stage.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same for the stagehand. It's the same for the sound man. Everybody is like, right, get ready. It's an 8 o'clock show or a 7:30 show, and you get ready, and then you're coming down at midnight, and you can stay up as late as you like, and then you sleep during the morning. And I went, God, this is a dream. This is what every teenager's ever wanted.
Yeah.
You know, Jeff Lynne was asked why he was a musician. He said, because I couldn't get out of bed in the morning.
That's great.
And so I thought, okay, this is the lifestyle for me. So I tried being a roadie, I tried being a tape op, I tried doing the sound for Lindsay Kemp. I did the lights for the London Contemporary Dance. And to be honest, I was absolute rubbish at all of them. And I thought the only way I'm going to get on in show business is if I'm in charge and I can just ask other people to do everything and I just walk around ordering cappuccinos. So that has been my life's mission, is to get to the place where nobody knows quite how useless I am at everything and I'm just in charge.
Yeah.
And, at the age of 73, as I now am, I've achieved my ambition. I'm absolutely useless, but I'm in charge.
Sounds like a familiar goal.
Yeah, no, I was like, you kind of...
Organising. I can organise. I can organise. That's it.
It's understanding your skill sets as well and surround yourself with good and talented people.
Yeah.
That's what it is, but it's recognising the talented people.
Because
the talented people need people to kind of help them move forward. That's usually the case, isn't it?
And that's exactly what I do. And the other thing that I realise I do is I judge. Mm-hmm. Really, if you're a producer or a manager or an A&R man, you're judging. You're saying, well, that is great, that's not so great, or that scene stays, or that scene needs cutting, or, there is a constant evaluation going on. So if I have a skill set of any sort, it would be the judging.
Okay.
Like Pete and Dud.
Yeah.
Do you remember they had a... never mind. They had a sketch where... I think I'll be a judge. I'll do the judging.
but it's recognising that, it's understanding that kind of thing.
And recognising your passion, comedy. Mm-hmm. I actually love comedy, and I think it's one of the unrecognised greats. There is no Oscar for comedy films, which is outrageous because comedy films are actually more difficult than almost all the other whatever they call them.
You were involved in it, and it was a golden era of comedy, though.
Yeah. Can you mention some of the films that you're involved in?
Well, yeah. I had the great good fortune through Kelly LeBrock, the not unattractive model
Weird Science.
actress.
Weird Science,
yeah. That's who introduced me to John Hughes.
Right.
Not that. She introduced me to John Hughes. God bless her.
Was she with Steven Seagal at the time or not?
Not
she was
yet.
In Hard to Kill.
I was with her when she met Steven Seagal.
Going on a rabbit hole there.
That was movies. What a tragedy.
Yeah.
Never mind. Don't go there. John was an Anglophile, thank heavens, and I found myself music supervising films.
Really?
for John.
Did you hit it off with him straight away when you met him?
Yeah, she took me to the set, and you sort of hover about, and they goes, "Oh no, sit here," right next to him, and I was there all day, and then come for dinner, and before I knew it, Paramount were getting me a green card.
Really?
And you're like,
yeah.
I was talking earlier about if you're cast in a film, how your life can change. My life changed that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly swears she knew that was going to happen, and she did it on purpose. So I owe her a huge thank you.
Yeah, but you could have been in the room and it not happened because of how you react to that.
Yeah.
No, you reacted in the right way.
Yeah.
Probably because, I don't know, do you find people gravitate to you easily? Do you kind of...
Yeah, I am
easy to be around?
People person.
Okay, yeah.
And he was great. John, I mean, if he liked you just talked.
Yeah.
And talked and talked. And then some more talking. And that was fine. But then I ran his company, and I was going backwards and forwards between London and Los Angeles. And he liked me because he could call when nobody else in America would take his calls because of the time difference. Right. So if it was 5 a.m. in his time, there was nobody up. And he really liked to talk on the phone. So my phone would ring, and I'd be on the phone. I'd know I was going to be on the phone for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. In fact, I can tell from my clients, which I can almost set a clock to how long they're going to talk.
Okay.
That we all have a time that we're happy with on the phone. Mm-hmm. And Brian is quite short. Mm-hmm. Jimmy's kind of in the middle. Stuart's quite long. Stuart Copeland from the Police is quite long because he has a list and he does the list. Yeah. And there's no getting, if you're halfway through the list, you're not going anywhere. Yeah. You're doing the list. Yeah. Long distance phone calls and long or short. How are you on the phone? Are you long or short?
Sorry.
Is he long? Yeah, no. It's.
I'm looking around the room.
You say you'll be short.
Short.
You speak very short for very long.
He's got it down to a T.
Yeah.
If you don't know us, the messages might seem a bit abrupt and rude.
Yeah.
But I'm more efficient and to the point. That's how I
when I'll call him, right? And usually there's
conversations are fantastic. We start with nothing. Because we start with I don't know.
No. This is how I call you, right?
Fantastic.
And I'm usually kind of buoyant. And all I can hear you is...
Chris bounces in.
You rustle a little bit. You rustle a bit and you go, right? That's it. That's how you start your conversation. Right. Sounds like you're hiding somewhere in the house.
You might be. Why? You might be.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna set the scene here, you're talking, because you'll know this, right? You're in an editing suite and you're in a room by yourself and you're locked in, and if somebody rings, that's bad. You're gonna break the flow.
Yeah.
And I have a don't talk to us when that door shut kind of policy, because it is quite difficult.
Yes.
When you're in a flow, it's all about rhythm, and you're kind of in another headspace, and you're just going, and you need to get that bit, and it's like a microsecond left, right, all right, okay. Well, the music, I'm just getting at that point, and then the phone goes. You're like, oh man, come on.
Yeah.
But then you're like, what? So but only to the people who I know.
Yeah.
I can get away with that.
That's right.
I am polite.
That's right.
I do the best.
I found you to be very polite.
Thank you very much. I am.
And a wonderful builder. As I look around this newly refurbished studio.
Dan the Builder.
It's Dan the Builder.
Dan the Builder.
That's a good one. Me and Jimmy go back on the toes.
Yeah.
Is that a new series?
Back on the toes, huh?
Back on the toes.
That's a good. But yeah, we just go on rants all of the time about a lot of nonsense, but we end up somewhere with it as well.
We always end up somewhere.
We always end up somewhere, and all of this kind of craziness, even that picture behind Sting, Sam Fender giving Sting a piggyback, that just came off like a WhatsApp chain, and then we got it commissioned, and then we have a thing, and then we just like to create, you know?
No, it's fantastic. Well done, guys.
And really you have to even the reference Gordon
the bench as well. Sting. That's named after Sting. So,
is it?
Yes.
That's Gordon. That's our podcast mascot.
It's a podcast mascot because it looks like a little dog. So we had to name him, and
we laughed a lot that night.
We laughed a lot that night. We ended up with Sting, but it's a long story. It's a good WhatsApp chain though. We'll have to start one. So Tarquin can handle our nonsense. You know? So, but you're talking about all of the films that you've been in, but I just need to know. I need to name the films. You're talking about a kid. Me and my brother, absolute cinema nuts. We were raised on movies, watching the telly. So this is our world.
Ooh,
so
okay.
Please name some.
All right. Well, it started with John. He was in post-production on Pretty in Pink when I first started work. He was on post-production on Pretty in Pink and shooting Weird Science, obviously, because of Kelly LeBrock.
Brilliant film.
And then the first one that I music supervised 100% was Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And we then went on to do, Uncle Buck and Planes, Trains and Automobiles.
Hitting all my favourites.
These are on repeat in my house.
Classics, favourites. We all love them.
There was a Christmas Vacation in there somewhere. And then he fired me. John fired me. And
why?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. He was like that. Mm-hmm. You were either his best friend or you were sent to Siberia. Really? There was no.
Yeah. Was there no sign of it happening?
There was no sign of it happening, and it was quite abrupt. And I mean, presumably he had a reason of some sort. And so I moved back to England, and then I'm sitting around, and I'm managing XTC and The Beat and Stephen Duffy, the Lilac Time, and various, and Hugh Harris, and the phone goes, and it's John. And it's at the usual time, and I know it's 5 a.m. in Chicago, which means, it's like 10 a.m. my time. Yeah. Hello, it's John. Hello, John. He said, do you want to come and come back and work for me? And I went, you fired me. What? Why are you calling me? And he said, not to music supervise, to run the company. So I'm like,
you just need a cool enough period or something. What's happening?
And I don't know about you, but a lifelong ambition of mine had been to become a movie producer. It seemed to me to be like the coolest thing in the world. And that you'd hang out in LA, the palm trees, the warmth, and it just would be the life I'd always dreamed of. So you want me to come and produce the films for you? I said, but you fired me, John. This is, are you going to tell me why? And he said, I'll offer you a lot of money. And I went, oh, how much? And he named a number which was significantly more than a humble manager was making. And I went, okay. He said, but you have to stop working. You have to not manage. Mm-hmm. You've got to do this 100%. And you've got to live and work in Chicago. And I went, okay.
Yeah.
And then I flew to Chicago to be executive producer on Home Alone. And I spent the next 4 years working for John. And we made... I executive produced 3 films, and they all shot in the dead of winter.
So how long did you hold that role down for them?
I was there for about 4 years, and then he fired me again.
But did he still refuse to tell you why?
I didn't know why. But it was, and at the time you're sort of awfully upset about it, and and confused and thing. But now with time and history, I just go, what a gift I was given.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The gift of working with what I think was one of the best writer-directors that America gave us in the last half of last century. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, Scorsese and people like that get an awful lot of attention. But again, it's that bias against comedy. And, I think Mel Brooks and Blake Edwards and John Hughes, these guys that gave us those comedies are just so great, and they are not lauded enough.
Mm-hmm. And they created timeless films. I mean, my kids are 16 and 18, and they still lean back to those films.
That's right, and we watch them more frequently than we watch the dramas.
Yeah.
There's only so many times you can watch The Godfather. Mm-hmm. No disrespect to it at all.
Yeah.
But whereas Planes, Trains and Automobiles, it plays every Thanksgiving. By the way, what a genius of John to write movies that play on Christmas and New Year's.
But you can't do that with, I mean, modern films now are different. I mean, Planes, Trains and Automobiles, I can pull out quotes. Our family pull out quotes from that film all the time. In fact, I'm sure I said that to you when we were in Barger.
Oh, we did, because
that's not a pillow.
That was exactly the scenario. Yeah, I was in the bathroom, like moving your pants out the way. I'm like, we're in.
And you were definitely Steve Martin.
I was definitely Steve Martin.
You know what?
It was.
Yeah, you said that.
He said that to me a while ago. My kids always go, "You're like Uncle Buck."
And now I can see it. I can see it.
The John Candy effect.
And I music supervised Planes, Trains and Automobiles. But I think of all of the films I work with on John, I think it's the one I'm most proud to have my name on, because I just think that the humanity that he got in that film.
Can I just say?
Have you watched the documentary with?
I have. John Candy. I did. Yes.
Is it good?
Yeah,
I'm halfway through it. I must finish it.
No, it's good because
Steve Martin interviews and that are really, really sad.
Well, it's just the scope.
Emotional.
Yeah, it's the scope of what he did as well, and like how he achieved everything. But I need to mention, we can't skip through this Planes, Trains and Automobiles, right? The song "The Mess Around."
Yeah.
When he was in the car and he got his slaves caught.
Yeah.
On the seat. It's absolute genius.
It's genius.
And just John Candy, the way, just the body function, the movement, doing all that kind of stuff when he's asleep and he's dancing towards him. It's one of the funniest things. And in those moments there, they don't really write those things into comedy. It was always a throwaway lines that we loved and we quoted as kids.
Okay, this is how it would be in the script. John would write an awful lot of it in the script, and you'd read the script and go, genius, fantastic. But then on top of that, and my job as the producer for John was to make sure that whoever was directing shot the script exactly as written. You have to shoot the script. Then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And this is what John would do. He'd put the camera, if you were the actors, he'd put the camera here and he'd sit right next to it so that the eye line for him was the same as the camera. Mm-hmm. So that if you looked at him, you were looking at the camera. And then he would talk to the actors and say, try this and try that. And if the actor wanted to try something, he'd say, yeah, let's do that. And he'd just roll film. And the producers would be going, because film was expensive, and film came in blocks cans, of about cans or runs or whatever, I can't remember what we used to call them, of 8 minutes or so, and he'd just run film and run film and run film and time and film and money clocking up, and he just would play and let the actors do what they wanted to do. Yeah. And that's where you got that sort of genius.
I was going to say, who's impressed you most on a set?
Well, that's a tricky one. John Candy was, an absolute genius and an incredibly nice man, and very, very supportive of everybody around him. So I loved him. Steve Martin was great. Matthew Broderick was fantastic. A lot of ad-libbing.
Film, isn't it?
Again, John let him play, and that's where you got the singing in the shower and all of that sort of stuff. So they've all been. Poor Catherine O'Hara, who passed away this week. A little nod to her, because she was an absolute delight to work with.
But she was still going as well, because Schitt's Creek was fantastic as well.
It wasn't Schitt's Creek.
She was wonderful in that.
Yeah.
Really good. What a great series that was.
It was a great series, because I was on the fence watching it. I'm like, this is where the comedy should be. Yeah. It was really good.
No, it was genius. And, that sort of American comedy, really good. Yeah. Really good. Modern Family gets close to it as well, I think.
We watch most of that. It's one of those that you just kind of tap out of because it's too many series, isn't it? It's the same as Simpsons and all these kind of things. Family Guy, you just go, all right, I've seen 8 of them. Yeah. That's enough.
How many times can I go to this well?
For me, it's like the likes of The Wire, 5 and done. All right, great, let's get out while the going's good. Ricky Gervais does that as well. I'll just do 2 or something. Yeah. Fantastic. Leave the audience wanting more. Yeah. That's what I think. Don't put too much into it. So... yeah, Home Alone, the best Christmas movie of all time, I would definitely say. Yeah. And Macaulay Culkin, that film has just got absolutely everything in.
The
Catherine O'Hara again.
Catherine O'Hara, there you are. And a brief John Candy.
Yes.
in the truck.
But that humanity thing that you mentioned with Planes, Trains, it's there as well, isn't it?
I have to say it's something that...
Polka. Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, Chris Columbus brought the church scene into the film, and being a cynical, rather nasty person, really, underneath this suave, good-looking exterior, beats a cruel and nasty heart. And I'm always like, oh, really? We've got to have the sort of soppy bit. But it works. It works. And it works so well. And Chris spotted it. John always spotted it. Brian Johnson spots it. He's incredibly good at that, of knowing when to go from comedy to a little bit of heart. Yeah. And it's really makes, and of course the greats like Charlie Chaplin knew that you have to do that. It has to do that, because that makes the comedy that much funnier if you go down here for the heart.
We say this all the time, though, Tarquin. We say it's the light and the dark, because we're all of that all of the time. Yeah. We, I mentioned a few months ago, it was last year, I went to a funeral, and then everyone's, it's the serious moment, everyone's shedding tears, and then you go back to the workman's club, you're all just having a giggle, having a laugh over the table, having a few pints. That's what everything is, and I like that. I love the kind of the balance of that as well, and I think us British people, we do that quite well, I would say. So the light and the dark.
That's how we cope with sadness and grief.
But it is you do have to laugh about it, and you have to kind of, I don't know, it helps you cope with it.
That's probably why those films landed so well in the UK,
I think so, yeah, completely. I mean,
Well, also, I mean, it was the era where you could make a niche comedy. If you think about it, John's films were all set in the suburbs, the white middle-class suburbs of Chicago. Mm-hmm. That's where they're set. That's what they're about. And if you wanted to know what 1980s America, middle-class white life was like, watch the John Hughes film. Yeah. They're not being made anymore. Hollywood doesn't make them anymore. They try to hit out of the ballpark, which means they try to make these worldwide hits. You cannot make a film about the white middle-class suburbs of Chicago and expect it to play in China and India, etc. So now we've got these big blockbusters that play around the world that, frankly, are not of any interest to me. Not because I'm nasty,
feel the dilution, can't
but there's nothing there for me. Whereas those niche things, and by the way, that's true of music also. The record companies want the big hit, and they're making records by committee, and we're losing that. Well, we're not losing it. The niche music is there, but it's not on the major labels, and it's not in the top Spotify 50. It's somewhere else. You can find it in your local club or folk club or something, and it's genius, but it has to build its own ecosystem. It isn't the music business as we knew it back 20 or 30 years ago.
That's kind of what I feel about what we're doing, though, when I think about it, because we always talk about we get frustrated at that almost generic storytelling. That is so stretched because it's designed to be relatable. And it's designed to be homogenous, and everyone will like it, but it's not really telling you anything. And we've deliberately tried to tell stories that are so niche and local
heroes.
Just tell the truth. That's all you have to do.
And get to it. And there's a universal truth in these stories that John was telling. And I think the most successful of those is Planes, Trains and Automobiles. It was really about his life, because he was an advertising exec in Chicago and used to do that journey to New York all the time. And what the film is really about is family. And we shot a lot more of the family waiting for Steve Martin to get home. But you didn't care. No, this sounds awful. You didn't care about the wife and the kids. You didn't. But you didn't. You wanted to stay with the action. You wanted to stay with Steve and John and their trials and tribulations. But in John Hughes's writing, it was getting back to family that film was all about. And that, that's something that we all have.
But I think now, obviously, music and films have changed, but TV is where it's at. And I'm a massive TV lover now because of the fact that you can write and you can hold on to characters and you can develop that throughout the series of like 6 to 8 to 10 episodes.
Yeah.
That's king for me now is TV. And
I agree.
I love TV.
Yep.
So it's still there and people still want it. So
Yep.
why aren't we putting this in film? That's my issue.
It's the economics of it. This playing to the worldwide audience has sadly killed, I think, cinema.
Yeah.
I cannot see it surviving. I cannot see people going to a building to watch something in 20 or 30 years. There will be cinemas, just like there are still opera houses. You know, culture moves from the centre to the edges. So, you know, opera used to be right in the centre, and it now is only for the wealthy on the edges. And new things come in, and obviously TikTok and social media is now in the centre of our culture, along with television.
Yeah, but the problem is that's just like killing time moments. I think the phone.
I think that will develop. I think on my TikTok, I've noticed the piece is getting longer and more informative.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that I'm getting science and history along with dancing girls,
Yeah.
and cats.
Yeah.
But I am getting slightly deeper stuff. It's changing.
That's the thing, because it used to be just people dancing and
Dancing
cats and all
and
this
cats.
cat stuff, but obviously longer form. They're incentivising that with money. So if it's over a minute, then you get paid for over a minute if people hold on to that content.
The Epstein files in America have shifted it as well, because there are now lengthy pieces all about that. And you're like, I have to watch that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, I live in podcasts. I haven't listened to the radio for about 15 years because of podcasts.
Podcasts are local as opposed to national. Mm-hmm. This is a local podcast. This is about this place that we're in, this lovely yard, and your lives up here in Newcastle. Mm-hmm. But if there is a universal element to it, it will spread. Yeah. You know, where it's not from the top down, it's from the bottom up.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? It is. Sort of how things work. And you just got to...
And we're just feeling our way because it evolves.
We are. I mean, it's
outside of our control, so you've just got to track alongside of it.
And see what happens. And you learn. You know, you put something out and people react, and then you put mine out and nobody listens. You know, you'll learn. Yeah. You'll learn what not to do.
Well, we found the clips.
We've had a few viral clips.
We've had a few viral clips.
How the hell has that become viral?
Yeah.
But it's how does that translate into longer form stuff and getting people onto it? But you kind of start thinking too much about it and making it a business. That's the problem.
You know, I put stuff on TikTok because I want to learn these media thing. I'm a manager. I need to learn the hands-on. And I put all these arty things up. I go to take this thing, and then and then one went viral. And I thought, oh, this is exciting. Which one is it? Oh, it's the one where I took a film of the Barcelona girls football team getting on their bus. Oh. It's like, oh, great. You know, all my clever ideas. No, nobody's interested. But the Barcelona girls football team getting on a bus. Boom.
Ours was of splitting a muffin.
How to split a muffin.
How to split a muffin.
Split a muffin. Right, do you mean a muffin?
An English muffin.
An English muffin.
A savoury muffin. So we got 1 million.
Hold on, I'm going to have a
TikTok.
Look.
And then the chocolate pasty.
Somebody
thought that Greg should change a pan au chocolat to a chocolate pasty.
The story was...
You know that's good.
The story was that it was from Frankie Francis from Sunderland, and he was from Frankie and the Heartstrings, another singer. And he was in Greg's, and a chav came in and asked for a chocolate pasty because he didn't want to say croissant. So that was the whole clip, and I think that just got over 1 million on Instagram. But it kind of limped to over it. But it got there eventually. It keeps going now. But it keeps going. It's one of those things that gets.
I may be using that line.
Chocolate pasty. You have to. We did do a bit of lobbying to try and get Greg.
I mean, even Greg's kind of leaning as well, and they put like a poll out as well. Should we change it?
You know, the unintended consequences. I was reading somewhere about, we're all on the weight loss drugs these days, and Greg's is going to suffer because it really does affect what people buy.
Oh, yeah.
And I was looking at their ads and thinking, there were bags of joy and it was a sausage sarnie, and I thought, nope, that's not going to work.
Well, they were
you
in
know
the
what I
press
mean?
recently, weren't they? There
It's
was-
moving. It
Yeah.
never changes. And our media is moving and ever changing. My first brush with comedy was as an A&R man producing comedy records. Nobody does comedy records anymore.
Yeah.
You do comedy TikToks. You do, but
It's kind of used to promote. All this is used to promote and market yourself, and that's what we see. It's putting yourself out there, and it's a good place to have fun with it as well.
Well, look, we've always
I really
said
do
everything that
think.
we do, it does start off as a rabbit hole of a conversation. Everything we've done, we've had projects that have started on that sofa. There's a conversation with somebody. The out and about in Barga started with a conversation with a local business.
Richard Coleman, and then
we ended up flying out to Italy, making the documentary. Last week is what we did. The live show was part.
And where did you do the live show?
We did the live show at the Customs House over in South Shields because they're from South Shields.
Brilliant.
So that was we showed the film. 38 minutes.
It was 37-minute film, and then we had a 20 minutes break, and then we came back, and then we did this live podcast with the music, Raji Gaji playing where he came on stage, and then we did a few little bits with the muffin clip. We played the clip as well because Richie was on that clip when we did it, and then we had a bit of fun asking the audience our questions, which were on the menu. So we kind of made a show out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
nice.
It was good. It was fun, wasn't it? So it was a good tester because we've never done it. And like, right, does this work?
It's another string of
I think
you think
it worked really well.
there's something in that.
Yeah.
Can we do it again? What could that be? Could we shape it into something else without being a film? Could it be, I don't know, 3 guests on stage and then we know musicians and chefs and stuff? We can do a little crossover, make a night of it, I think.
Yeah.
But people like this, the conversation.
They do. They like the fact that it's relaxed and it's not channeled in the way that radio interviews were channeled.
That took a little bit of a while for us,
kept on subject.
Yeah.
And they like the fact that it can wander off somewhere.
Yeah.
That was it. We were conscious about that at first because we were getting, obviously, people coming in trying to help us shape it, and it's not structured enough. Where's the introduction? We're like, well, we can't.
Oh, it needs sections. I think we need a section. You could do a section on food, and you could do a section. No, and we can't.
It was about 5 minutes before we filmed with Cy King, and we both just said, we
bother.
kind of want to feel like people are eavesdropping into a conversation that's already started.
Yeah.
You kind of got to be genuine to who you are, and we quite like it because people, when does it start? Well, after the song Raji Gaji finishes, then we're just into a conversation like this, so it's a soft start, and I like that. You kind of like, all right, I'm settled in. It's quite nice, isn't it? And the only thing we do is at the end we do the menu questions, and it just takes you back to kind of nostalgic days when you were a kid or whatever it is. So,
we'll get on to that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, right? So you've obviously got direct links to the Northeast just through people that you work with.
Yep.
Was that happenstance that kind of one opened the door to the other?
Yep. I noticed in my life when I was an A&R man, all my bands came from Birmingham. The Beat, Stephen Duffy and the Lilac Time. I've spent my whole life driving around Birmingham trying to find the M1, as you do. And I've noticed as I've matured in life, it's switched to Newcastle.
Oh, right.
And it's a lot further, which is not good, but it is a lot easier to get out of.
Yes, it is.
You can find your way out. So, yes, there's Jimmy Nail, probably... it was Ian Lafrene, actually.
Yeah.
Ian Lafrene was the connection because I've known him all my life since I was in my late teens, and when I moved to LA, I reconnected with him. That's how I met Jimmy. Jimmy introduced me to Brian. So those are the sort of...
okay.
Have you been coming up here over that course of it? So you must have seen this place change.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I mean, look at those original shots on Alvia's Impact. The first series. It's unrecognisable.
The change in Britain, and because I was an A&R man, I used to go all over England, as you do. You go to a gig, and the change in our cities has been, in the big cities, has by and large been brilliant. Uh-huh. The change in our small towns has been sad. Yeah. It's been a tale of two outcomes. And the big cities, you go, yeah, this is great. We've joined. It's like being in Europe. There are cafes, there are restaurants. Belfast. I couldn't believe it when I went back to Belfast.
Belfast's fantastic.
It's a European city.
Yeah,
it's a proper European city. You go, this is amazing. When I did the comedy album with Rowan Atkinson, it was a war zone. I mean, it was like, get me out of here. And now you're like, oh, this is nice. But unfortunately, the small towns have suffered. Mm-hmm. The internet has killed the centre of our small towns. There's no point in going shopping anymore. There's a campaign somebody said there's a campaign, shop local, and he said, yeah, but I don't need any vapes.
Well, exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And that's what. And I saw recently that they've done a lot of research, and that's what's driving the unhappiness of voters. But it's very hard for any government, I think, to fix, because you can't bring the shops back.
Yeah, you can't.
You can bring the markets back, the local markets, because that we need that. It's something I have to buy this weekend.
Reversing the habit, that is the hardest thing.
Yeah,
you can bring the things back, but can you reverse the way people have developed or changed the way they do things, the way they shop, the way they integrate with the high street, the way they, the behavioural piece of that work is really hard to reverse.
Yeah,
it's become like the niche kind of thing. Market people want to pop out and buy something special, something like that. I think that's why people. Plus, it's getting people out.
Yeah,
people do like, and I was going to get into events and live things, because people still, I think, obviously records have died off, but events and live gigs are at the highest they've ever been. Yeah, because people still want experiences as well, and they still want to be out. So I reckon it's the same as markets and experiences, isn't it? So,
cafes are doing well because we need somewhere to go.
It's social, isn't it?
It's social. We're social animals, and we like to mix with other people, and we need places to go, and that's what's distressing people in these small towns, is seeing the centre of their town where they used to go and mingle, and they're becoming unattractive, and that's a real problem.
But it feels cyclical, though, doesn't it?
It does.
In fact, I need to show you this because I pulled it out. Right, it's the quote from I've been saying, Pet, and it made me realise that actually that was in the 80s. And now you could say the same thing. You could say the same thing.
Yeah, but not of Newcastle.
Yeah.
You can't say that because it says a bloody wasteland, desolate, nay joy, nay hope, nay nought. And you can't say that about Newcastle, but you can say it about Chesterfield, where I went to see Michael Palin do a talk show.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go and see it in a small town. I wanted to get out of London and see what it was like, because I was putting Stuart Copeland out on the road doing a talk show. So I thought, let's go and see a past master, because Michael Palin, Monty Python hero, whatever. And I just was distressed what I saw in what was a beautiful market town, and the centre not as great as it used to be.
Yeah.
And it's all right for me. I'm a visitor. I leave. But if you live somewhere and you watch it happening to your town, it just gets you.
Yeah, of course it does.
So,
it does.
But I mean, there's so many stories like that. We see people all the time, and you complain about, it's not the same, and it's changed, and it's worse. But I don't know. The people are trying, and we find lots of small, younger people, because I know lots of people at the gym, they're all in their 30s, and they're all popping up their own businesses, like food vendors and stuff like that. But it's very small pockets. But they are building communities.
Yes,
and there is a want and a need for that.
Yep.
And the fitness thing's taken off. Everyone's drinking less and all the food things. And they're doing high rocks all the time. That's what it's become now, which is great. But they love the food still, and that's the social side of things, the food, and then being around each other. Because at the gym, they'll all sit and have a coffee for 25 minutes, 30 minutes after the train. That's very unusual for a gym. It was usually just people in and out.
Yeah. I think the gym is actually a very interesting. That's the big new phenomena. We didn't have those in the quantity that we do now when I was growing up. The pub, but not the gym, and it's shifting, isn't it? There we go. It's moving.
Yeah,
it's moving again. It's great.
But as for gigs as well, you're talking about Brian and AC/DC. I think it's been as strong as ever, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, people want something like AC/DC. They want that experience, and that they will go and spend a lot of money to go and see that. Where we're having a problem, I think, on the live music front is the new bands, the unknown bands, the local venue, which you used to go to on a Friday night, just because you went there to have a drink.
Yeah, it was always on.
It was always on, and then you would one day go and there'd be a brilliant band, and you go, God, they're marvelous. And I think that's the thing that's in trouble, because we can mix socially online. I watch my kids, and they mix online and they go to specific places. There's a lot less sort of chance happening.
Yeah, when we were kids, it was chance happening. You just went out.
You just went out.
You hope your mate was on the corner.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you
no. If you remember, you had to go out. If you wanted to find out what was happening on Saturday night, you had to go out Friday to find out.
Yeah.
And we're not as and we've chatted about this loads of times. We're not as fanatic anymore.
No,
so we grew up as fans of. You might catch a band,
waiting for months for the album.
A fan,
yeah.
The album
right,
drop.
yeah. You're looking for the album drop, or you're listening. When's it going to be on the radio? It's going to be on Sunday night. We're going to listen to it.
John Pale.
Read sleeve notes. I want to look at the photography. I want to read the lyrics. Like Spotify has killed that.
Yep.
And as much as it might have democratized music and made everything more accessible, there's no want anymore.
Well, Well, I mentioned this the other day when we were in here, and Dinosaur Jr. came on. I was like, that's a throwback, because I got into them as a teenager. I was like, a great album cover. There's a 12-year-old girl with a cigarette in her mouth. I love the album cover, and I remember that from the album cover, So
I'll often have the conversation with my kids. I go, which album's this off? And they'll be like,
what? No.
What?
But it's, I don't know, you lose the creative art of kind of creating an album, shaping it, like Ballydrawn
the era
Boy.
of the concept album.
Ballydrawn Boy, it was like, it was a story threaded through, there was no gaps, and you would have like interludes in between connecting the music.
Yeah,
I'm like,
things.
it's a phenomenal thing.
Yeah.
I love that album. Like, you fall in love with stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're going, I'm going to go and see him, then you see him, he's on for 2 hours, you're like, holy moly, this is amazing, So you remember.
The Kindle's done the same to books. Somebody said, what are you reading? I'm like, I don't know, because I'm not seeing the cover of the book.
Yeah.
Every time I pick up the Kindle, it's just the Kindle.
Faceless, isn't it?
It's faceless.
Yeah.
I
I got rid of mine 2 years ago. I just went, right, I can't do that.
Well,
I still love it. I love feeling books.
Yeah.
Just love it.
I need Braille.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Blind.
Are we going to transition?
I don't know. Should we transition to the menu?
Yeah, go on. What is the menu? Shall I read it?
Yeah.
Or do you read it?
I'll tell you what, Tarquin, we get this wrong every time, and I'm used to abuse, so feel free. Pick anything from the menu. It's in sections like a menu for no reason at all, just to confuse people. So,
right.
And then you say, what am I meant to do with this?
Yeah. Well, top three.
Top three.
Yeah, top
this
three.
Oh, I know where you're going to go with this.
Right.
Are you going to say films?
What
What are you going to say? Hey, Dan.
I'm not sure.
Can I put the menu
Is that
on
too
Sting?
easy?
You can put the menu on Gordon, yeah.
It's Sting's Sunday name. It's Gordon Sumner.
Oh, okay.
It's not blocking, is it? Is it blocking? Sorry, sorry. I'm giving you right to do anything you want. So you can upset the thing. So I'll tell you what.
It's a beautiful bit of woodwork. This.
It's a lovely bit of confusion. That's what this is.
Actually, top three might be too easy.
Top three because, right. Top three people you've managed. I'm sorry. I know.
Now I'm in trouble.
Top three people who've been hard to manage.
No, I know I said managed because it might be just the relationship, or it might be just the thing, or it might be just the happenstance of how it came about. So that's all I'm going to say is like memorable people.
Well, that is tricky because
tricky,
the ones I work with, I really like. I've already mentioned Jimmy Nail, so we'll cross him off the list because I've already banged on about what a privilege it is to work with somebody for 35 years and watch them go through that. But you know what? I've worked with Brian Johnson for 15 years, and that's been a fantastic journey to watch how, because he has a core job, which is to be the lead singer of AC/DC. But all the other stuff he does, he's a genius at. Yeah. He's so good. And so that's been a real privilege. I haven't really, I look and I go, I haven't managed any girls. I haven't had any female artists. So I sort of worry about that and think I really ought to, just to keep it looking good. I managed The Beat early on. That was great. But I sort of feel like I don't know about you in your careers, but in mine, you spend the first half of your life thinking somebody's going to notice that I'm a fake, that I don't actually know what I'm doing, and there is the limit of my knowledge is it's easy to get to. And then one day somebody comes up and goes, how do you do this? And you go, oh my God, I'm the expert. Yeah. I'm no longer the fake. Yeah. I've become the expert, and it happens overnight. Mm-hmm. And when was that day when you went from fake to expert? Mm-hmm. But I feel like I know what I'm doing, and I think I'm pretty good at it. And so, currently it's Jimmy, Brian, and Stuart Copeland, and I'm pretty happy.
What a drummer, by the way.
He's a great drummer.
Yeah. By a country mile. He's my favourite drummer.
Really?
Yeah.
He is extraordinary. He's a creative drummer.
Yes.
He does things that other people don't do.
Yeah.
He's not a machine.
The little fills and the little...
Yeah.
It's just...
He did drive your footstool mad.
I know.
Because, well, we won't go there. Yeah. No, we're just not going to go there.
I've heard from a few other podcasts, so I don't want to bring that up.
Yeah, let's not bring that up. We're moving on. Moving on.
Yeah. Going to put guns.
Drive your footstool mad like that.
For a brief moment, I managed XTC, and I loved them. Andy...
Very heavily influenced. The Futureheads were very heavily influenced by XTC.
They're a brilliant band. Yeah. And the guitarist... Dave and Colin are underrated because Andy is such a star, such an interesting guy, and eccentric. Mm-hmm. So Colin and Dave are quite sort of normal, normal guys. And so Andy's specialness, which goes as far as his hobby is painting toy soldiers. Mm-hmm. I mean, who does that?
We know somebody.
Do you?
Yeah. Actually,
features in our
documentary, Hands on the Wheel. Drew, who's quadriplegic, he actually paints them with his teeth.
Wow.
Because he started to do it because he was having issues with mental health.
He took those tiny little
figurines.
Tiny ones.
Tiny little figurines with his teeth. So, and he goes through, he's got these contrast paints so it sticks to the kind of details and stuff like that. We will get the film to you at some point.
Well, we should send it to Andy.
I think you'd really have something like a nice connection to it as well.
Yeah.
We're talking about these things. It's a fascinating approach. I'd filmed him for a half a year before he mentioned that. I didn't even know about it. So
did he keep it up in the attic or something?
No, it's just in his office room, and he says, "Oh, by the way, I paint these little figurines with my teeth." I'm like, "You what?"
He developed loads of tools, didn't he?
But he developed loads of little tools. He's like a little tripod, which he's kind of just figured out and added bits on and taped foam on, just as a little platform. Then you stick the platform on top, and then you use like the tripod handle and you just knock it around with these.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really impressive.
Wow.
But you'd love it, honestly.
Yeah.
But
it's a fantastic scene in the film as well.
Yeah. It's just that calm moment. But also, he straps his hands up and he'll do a ski erg as well. Abby, who as well, she learned to surf off me introducing her to surf, and all of these kind of lovely things happen.
Hobbies are an interesting subject, aren't they? Mm-hmm. And I say that because I don't have any. I don't do anything apart from what I do. Yeah. Because I find
we're the same though. We say that, don't we?
Because you don't switch off and this is always on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is why we do this.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't make sense what we do outside of it.
I've always got another contract I could read. It's like, well, why would I do?
Well, we're at the start, so we're just trying to get the thing moving, and that's what we're trying to do. So you're putting all your time and effort moving it forward. But obviously, we have 20 years of experience in other fields as well, so you're trying to put all of that in and see if this will work and move forward. So
just think, I wish we'd had that Tyneside map.
That Tyneside map?
Yeah. I'll give you it for Jimmy. It's got Avira's pet on it.
It has, yeah.
We've just launched these maps up here, which have got all the kind of cultural iconography of the Northeast. Yeah. And we did a Tyneside one that's got Avira's pet on it.
Yeah, the postcard. So kind of commission that, so we'll just collaborate with people.
Brilliant.
Great stuff.
Brilliant.
I had a thing in my head. I had a question. I've just forgotten.
Which I've just pushed out with nonsense.
Yes.
No.
I'll punch it out with my own nonsense. It's all right. It's where
Yeah.
my brain goes. It was good as well, you know, Tarquin.
Never mind.
So,
Yeah.
out of everything you've done in your life, are you sort of at the point where do you feel proud of what you've done?
Yeah, I'm ready to die, if that's the question. I think it is. You were very polite, but yeah, I can go now.
Lottie, there's the clip.
There's the cut-off point. So no, yeah, I'm good. I am good. Life is good.
Yeah.
I've had a fantastic life, and
because some people don't appreciate like what they've done.
Yeah.
And I find it really hard to sort of appreciate anything I've done. You know.
I spent most of my life trying to live my life so that when they made the BBC Two documentary about me, it would be interesting. And now I've forlornly realised that BBC Two is never coming to make the documentary, but it's too late now. I've had an interesting life.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll make it and we'll kind of...
There you go.
There you are.
Thank you very much, guys.
Let's do one from us to Tarquin, yeah?
Go on then.
I'm too lazy because I always like we get good answers out of that.
I definitely want to do that, yeah. What's your last meal? If you
Given that you've just said you're ready to die.
Oh, good question. What would I get?
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm trying to transition away from chips, pasta, and rice because I'm old, and you have to. And my son is. I'm living with my 22-year-old son, and I'm trying to get. He needs a job. He needs to get a job, and it's not easy for young males who don't have qualifications to find work. There is a huge 750,000 in this country alone looking for work, and so I know how hard it is for him. But he, as his contribution to us living together, is cooking for me and trying to change my diet away from chips, pasta, and rice. And so my last meal would be something cooked by my son. And when we go to the supermarket, when we go shopping, he's always buying the smelly stuff. It's the fish. It's like, do we have to have mackerel? Okay, mackerel it is. So it would probably be cooked by my son and stinky.
What a great answer. I think that's up there with the
that
best
new-
answer we've had to that question.
Is that a new comedy duo? Cooked and Stinky.
Stinky. Yeah. Coming to a town hall near you.
There you go. He's got a TV show. He could be your PA, and then you kick up a new TV show. Just get him online. You film him, and then you kind of.
There we go.
Cooking with.
We just need Roman cooking away in the corner.
So we're going to bring it down a few little pegs now.
Bear in mind, we
Tarquin,
talk about beige food.
Talking about beige food. What's your Greg's order?
Well, I talked about it earlier. I saw the sausage sarnie, and it did look good. But, I want the chocolate pasty.
You want the chocolate pasty?
You've told me about it now. I want the chocolate pasty.
Tarquin, you've got to sit the pressure's mountain on Greg's now.
Yeah.
To rename
no,
them.
I think there's a campaign here.
There is a campaign.
Yeah.
So,
Get the
Well, hold
merchandise
on.
next week.
The chocolate pasty is just a chocolate croissant.
Is
that what you want?
It's a pan of chocolate, isn't it?
Pan of chocolate.
Yeah, but it's a chocolate pasty, really. It's a pastry filled with chocolate.
It's so wonderful that you didn't want to say that.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, because we've all had that panic of pan-o-raisin. Is it pan-a-raisin or pan-o-raisin? Or pan-o-raisin?
Yeah, the best. That's my approach. I just say it quickly.
Quickly.
Yeah, quickly. Pan-o-raisin.
Pan-o-raisin. Yeah.
As long as you get it in on the end, they'll know what you want.
Are you a fan of Greg's at all?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Well, yes, English food, I think was brilliant until you get to 70 and you realise you can't eat it anymore.
Is it not that point where you're going to start eating it again? You just go, sod it, I'll just eat it anyway.
As soon as my son moves out.
Yeah. You'll have no choice.
No more stinky mackerel.
You'll have no choice.
Hello, pan chocolate.
Yeah. Greg's bag's piled high in Tarquin's house.
Yeah.
Before you go,
Oh, we've got a gift. We've got a gift for you.
No.
Yeah, there you are. That's that crop in.
Because of the guy on the back. Is he going to be happy with that?
Who?
Stephen, it's gone.
I'll go for it.
Should we change it to Copeland?
Is there a drummer?
Yeah, I'll give you a little bag and then I'll...
Ah! Oh, dear.
There you are.
Yeah, Gordon.
With all your Northeast references.
I had the great privilege of being with Brian when he sang at St James's Park with Sam.
Yeah.
And that was a great night.
Yeah.
I'm not a Geordie, but to be there for something so great. It was really
it's kind
great.
of two icons of the region, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And that's the whole point in that. You've got...
It's a sort of a nod to the past, present and future, isn't it?
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Is this yours?
We got that commissioned. Yeah,
we got that commissioned.
by an
Who's
artist.
D. White?
By an artist, David White.
He's one of yours.
He's a caricature artist, but the whole idea, concept was our
WhatsApp message.
WhatsApp message. Plus, it's like exact. If you went down North Shores Fish Quay, it looks exactly like that.
Yeah.
You notice all the names of the boats and everything.
No, I'm having a look. Roxanne, I've got it.
Yeah, Raji Seagulls and both nicking fish and chips and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Good, yes.
So, yeah.
Marvellous, thank you.
Anyway, well, thank you very
Enjoy.
much.
Well,
Appreciate
thank you
that
guys. It's
conversation.
been fun.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Sorry about not. Oh, actually, I spilled
That's all
coffee
right.
down myself.
Sorry about coughing over the Home Alone thing. I'm distraught. I'm absolutely distraught.